Hi, and welcome to More Human, More Resources, the HR podcast for entrepreneurs. I'm Vicki Brown, your host and CEO of Vidamaneo Enterprises. As a serial entrepreneur, I understand that having the right expert help has been critical to my success. That's why I'm dedicated to telling you, in plain language, what's going on in the world of HR that might impact your business, and what you need to do about it, with real actionable tips to help you master that list of must-dos and grow your leadership muscle. First things first, the information contained in this podcast is provided for general purposes only and is not to be considered legal advice. Your decision to adopt or not adopt any practice or procedure mentioned in this podcast is solely yours, and we bear no responsibility for the outcome. We urge you to always consult legal counsel and other appropriate licensed professionals. And with that, let's get into the show.
You're listening to Season 5, Episode 34. Hi, I'm Michael, and I'll be filling in for Vicki while she's on vacation. So here we are, talking about TikTok. And before you roll your eyes and think this is about teenagers dancing, hold on. We need to talk about what TikTok means for you as a business owner. Because whether you're on the platform or not, your employees probably are. Let me paint you a picture. Your star employee Sarah walks into the office Monday morning, badges in at the front desk, grabs her coffee, sits down at her desk, and starts her day. Sounds normal, right? Well, what if I told you that Sarah filmed all of that for her day in the life TikTok video that now has 50,000 views? Oh, and remember when your team had that challenging client last week? Well, your customer service rep just posted a story time video from her living room telling the internet all about that crazy customer and how she handled the situation. She didn't use names, but she gave enough detail that anyone who knows your business could figure it out pretty quickly. This is happening right now in businesses just like yours. And if you don't have a plan for it, you're flying blind. Now, I get it. When you started your business, social media policies probably weren't at the top of your to-do list. You were focused on getting customers, managing cash flow, figuring out how to be a leader instead of just a doer. But here's the thing, this stuff matters now. It matters a lot. Here's what keeps founders up at night when we think about this issue: the accidental overshare. Your employee is excited about their job. That's great. They want to show the world what they do. Fantastic. But in that excitement, they accidentally show a client file on their desk. Or they mention a patient's name in the background of their hospital room tour. Or they film their computer screen while working on a confidential project. I've seen this happen. The employee had zero malicious intent. They were proud of their work, proud to be part of your team. But one video later, you've got a HIPAA violation, or a client confidentiality breach, or your competitor just got a sneak peek at your new product launch. And then there's the relationship piece. Oh boy, is this where things get messy fast? Picture this. Your employee has a rough day. Maybe they disagreed with your decision about something. Maybe they had a conflict with a coworker. Maybe they're just frustrated about a policy change. So they go home, plop down on their couch, turn on their phone camera, and start talking. Let me tell you about my toxic workplace. Or story time about my micromanaging boss. Or you won't believe what my coworker did today. Now, they might not mention your company name. They might think they're being vague. But the damage is already done. Because the other employees, they know exactly who and what they're talking about. And suddenly you've got a team that's walking on eggshells, wondering if their every move is going to become someone's content. I've watched this destroy workplace culture faster than you can say viral video. Trust evaporates. People start side-eyeing each other. Productivity tanks. Because everyone's worried about being the star of the next social media drama. But here's where it gets tricky. And this is where a lot of first-time leaders mess up. You can't just say, no social media talk about work, period. Because employees have rights. Real, legal rights to talk about wages, working conditions, safety issues, and workplace problems. If your team is organizing to discuss better pay, or if someone's calling out unsafe working conditions, that's protected speech. You try to shut that down with an overly broad social media policy, and you could find yourself in hot water with the National Labor Relations Board. So, what do? How do you protect your business without trampling on employee rights? First, get specific. Really specific. Don't just say, be professional online. That means nothing. Instead, spell out exactly what information needs to stay confidential. Client names and details, patient information, financial data, upcoming product launches, internal business strategies. Make it crystal clear when and where social media use is okay during work hours. Maybe it's fine during breaks and lunch, but not while they're working with clients. Maybe certain areas of your workplace are off limits for filming because of the sensitive information nearby. And here's a big one. Train your people. Don't just hand them a policy document and call it done. Sit down with them. Explain why these boundaries exist. Help them understand that you're not trying to control their personal expression. You're trying to protect the business that pays their salaries. Show them the difference between sharing enthusiasm for their work and accidentally creating problems. Give them examples of what's okay and what's not. Make it real for them. I also recommend creating positive outlets for work-related content. Maybe you start a company social media account where employees can contribute content safely. Maybe you develop guidelines for how they can share behind-the-scenes glimpses without revealing sensitive information. The goal isn't to turn your employees into robots who never mention work online. The goal is to channel their natural desire to share in a way that builds your brand instead of damaging it. And please, be sure to include a clause in your policy that makes it clear you're not trying to silence legitimate workplace concerns. Something that says this policy doesn't restrict their right to discuss wages, working conditions, or other legally protected topics. This isn't just legal protection for you, it's credibility. When your team knows you're not trying to muzzle them, they're much more likely to respect the boundaries you do set.
If you found this information helpful, please leave a review and tell a friend. Thanks for spending the time. Until next week, same time, same place.